Goldpanners baseball here on PannerVision. And the Goldpanners leading 4-0 after 2 innings. Starting pitcher Mason Schmidt, 2 scoreless in his Goldpanner debut. And now we have the pleasure of having Father Jason Schmidt here in the press box at Groud Memorial Park. Welcome to Fairbanks, Jason.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Pretty cool. Have you been here for a few days?
Yeah, I came in about a week ago. I was trying to fly up with my son. I grew up in Washington State and I always wanted to come up here and figure what a great opportunity.
Washington State. Have you ever been up here before?
First time.
First time. And are you a fisherman?
I am, actually, yes.
Did you get some time in?
I have not. My son actually got a chance to fish last night for the first time. I was trying to get some sleep. This 24-hour daylight's got me kind of messed up.
It always does. It always does. Let's get you up to speed here on the field as Ryan Latchman has come into the game to pitch. And he's able to throw on to first to take care of Shoher. And that's 1 up and 1 down for the Waves. And we go to the top of the order for Joe Kolbeck. We're joined by tonight's starting pitcher, Mason Schmidt's dad, Jason Schmidt. Jason, who played, of course, 14 years in the big leagues. And I kind of outlined it a little bit earlier as this one is lined to second base. 1 pitch and 1 out here. And you started with in the Braves organization, then went on to, I'm going to be selfish here and ask you about your time with the Pittsburg Pirates after you came over the Denny Nagel trade. And I was going to a ton of games back then in Pittsburgh, so I've seen you pitch, geez, I don't know how many times. But what are kind of some of your memories of your time in Pittsburgh?
Well, they weren't really my greatest days. You know, it was a time of transition in Pittsburgh. I think when I got there, within 48 hours, I think 95% of the team had been traded. So they were in a rebuilding process, and it was a 6-year plan. We all wanted to win. Unfortunately, we didn't, but, we had a lot of great players there. I enjoyed Pittsburgh, great fans. It's kind of fun to watch them now. I mean, they're doing really well. New ballpark. Well, it's not so much new now, but one of the most beautiful ballparks. Yeah, it's really nice. Have you been to PNC Park? Yeah, I actually got to play there. I opened up there.
Well, yeah, of course,
when they built it.
Yeah, you got to cross over for the beginning of PNC Park.
I did, yeah, and then unfortunately got traded right after that. I was really enjoying that new park.
You really blossomed then when you went to San Francisco, and I got to say, I was like, well, come on. But Pittsburgh, I mean, it's a good town, very passionate baseball fans, but it's been some rough. You mentioned the 6-year rebuilding plan. For many of us, it feels like it's an endless rebuilding plan, and some of us are very skeptical about things, but it's nice to watch them win a little bit this year, and some good talent on the team, hopefully something coming around. But you, of course, went on, played with the Giants and the Dodgers. Do you have a team you look back on and say, that's my team?
Boy, it's tough. I mean, I really enjoyed my years in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Just because I came up through the minor leagues with them, so it's kind of like your home, I guess, a little bit. And my Giants years were my best years, so I kind of tend to lean on those a little bit when I got to look back to where my success was.
More with Jason Schmidt when we come back. A 1-2-3 inning here for Latchman. Goldpanners baseball. It's 4-zip Fairbanks. Goldpanners baseball here on PannerVision, Fairbanks, Alaska, on a gorgeous Friday night. It's 4-0 home team. And the Panners come to bat in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's Jackson Frankovich, Logan Redeman, and Carl Peters, game 2 of the season. And we're joined by a longtime big leaguer, Jason Schmidt, who is now settled in Arizona, raised in Washington. You were born, though, in Lewiston, Idaho. Is that right?
I was, but I was only lived there very briefly, so I couldn't really answer any questions about it.
Very rich baseball history in Lewiston. Of course, home of Lewis Clark State, and former Goldpanner head coach Ed Sheff, who is a legend in his own right. Did you ever get to know Ed Sheff?
I did. Actually, Ed's from my hometown of Washington State, too, as well.
All right. And you know who I used to talk about you with was Rob Hippie.
I just talked to Rob actually past several days, trying to get some info, about coming here, what I should look forward to, and pick his brain a little bit.
Rob Hippie was an assistant coach up here under Ed Sheff, I want to say in 2002?
Yep.
I think that was it. And how do you know Rob?
Believe it or not, Rob Hippie was my history teacher in high school, and he was also my basketball coach for a year. And he did a little coaching on the side for pitching once we figured out he played for the Yankees.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Jason, you got to watch your son Mason tonight, and what'd you think?
It was nice to see him go out there and have some success. Great place to play. Gets a chance to relax. The D1 level is a lot of pressure. Summer ball is a lot of fun, so this is a good time for him to get some innings, get his feet wet a little bit, get a feel for just being back on the mound and get some innings under his belt.
He looked very loose. I chatted with him for a minute before the game as Frankovich lines this one into center field for a base hit. A leadoff single for Jackson Frankovich brings up Logan Redeman. The Panners leading 4-0. Yeah, he seemed very loose before the game. Was he the kind of kid that wanted to pick your brain and wanted to know everything that you had to teach him, or was he more like, Dad, I got this, leave me alone?
He listens to me, but I think I probably give him too much information, so it's maybe too much to sink in. He takes it in. He doesn't always ask a lot of questions. He's actually a pretty quiet kid, real smart kid, very literal, so you got to be really careful what you tell him because he will do it step by step, almost to a fault, where you're like, well, sometimes you got to think for yourself a little bit too. So he's got big heart on the mound, though.
Ground ball to first, and slipping was Klimkowitz, and the throw pulls pitcher Hamro off the bag. So safe at first base is Redeman, and so 2 aboard for the Goldpanners here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So you've been here for a little while. Are you going to stick around a little bit longer, or are you out of town soon?
I actually got to take off early tomorrow, unfortunately.
Early tomorrow. Well, that's too bad. Are you going to be able to come back for the Midnight Sun game?
We are planning to come back, I think, in July. I'm bringing my family with me, so I'm not sure of the dates yet. Yeah.
Midnight Sun game on the 21st is the pinnacle of the summer. It's starts at 10 p.m., goes right through midnight, and it's a spectacular event. But you'll be able to watch on PannerVision.
Oh, nice to know.
Yeah, we'll have every game all summer long, including on the road, live on our YouTube page. And do you watch a lot of Major League Baseball these days?
Well, I don't actually.
Yeah.
I thought I was the only one. You come across old teammates, you kind of ask them, and it's pretty unanimous across the board.
Carl Peters, the batter here with 2 aboard. Jason Schmidt joining me here in the press box, longtime major leaguer. Yeah, it's a lot of guys just, once you're done playing, it's kind of, I'm not going to. Plus, you also finally have time to do other things, like hang around with the family and go do some fishing, like you say. You don't want to be sitting in front of the TV watching baseball all the time, and you have kids to watch.
That's right. And once you retire, you realize all these things that you've missed for all these years, and you try to fill in a lot of gaps. But yeah, if I'm out to dinner and the game's on, it's hard for me to pay attention to the family. I'll be honest about that.
Carl Peters with 2 aboard and fouls this one back 2 on with nobody out. Do you still keep in touch with a lot of your ex-teammates?
There's a couple, but most guys have kind of moved back to their hometowns. A lot of guys still live in Arizona. Most everybody golfs. So I might be the only guy in Major League Baseball that doesn't golf. So I miss out a lot of those opportunities to see old teammates.
You still don't golf?
No, I just kind of realized as I got older, I get on the golf course and I get very angry, and it's probably not good for me. And I'm very OCD, and if I really want to go down that road of trying to master that and be out there every day, and my wife would never see me again, I don't think.
That's just it, though. The way I golf is I just I'm happy if I hit a good shot, but I have no illusions that I'm ever going to be good. And that kind of keeps me, from going too crazy on the golf course. That being said, I don't golf that much these days. Swing and a miss as Hamro gets the strikeout of Peters. You think he could still get out there and pitch?
I know 100% for sure no. I don't even think I could break a window right now, to be honest.
Well, there's probably room for a roster spot, and I know there's some extra jerseys downstairs if you want to get in there.
If I saw a couple doctors and a couple more surgeries, I might have one pitch in me.
What was your last year?
2009.
2009. Yeah, so about 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Did you miss it when you hung it up, or were you about ready?
Before I went to LA, I was ready to hang it up. I was just burnt out after San Francisco. Not in a negative way. I just put a lot of time in. I had 3 kids, and I was just mentally done. But I just made the All-Star team, had a good year. It's free agent year, so I was like, I got 2 more years in me. My agent talked me into 3, and I ended up getting hurt in the first year of it. So it was a very disappointing way to go out. But yeah, I was ready to go for sure.
Yeah, you ready? You were done?
Yeah, just from the mental side of it. And, you get older and you spend more time in the training room than you do on the field. And people don't realize what goes on behind the scenes, and that's the difficult part.
Yeah. Well, Jason, we're going to let you enjoy the night, but really appreciate you coming here and giving us a few minutes of your time. And it's got to be a lot of fun watching your son pitch.
Oh, it's a blast, and I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Jason Schmidt, longtime major leaguer here on PannerVision. Pitching change from Groudon. We'll be back in just a minute.